Alright guys, first and foremost, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I do truly appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I appreciate you clicking on the video as well. Now, for today's video, I thought this was an important topic to speak upon because I've been getting this question a lot in my live stream, especially about whether you should be pulling for Ganyu or should be saving for other characters that'll be coming hopefully relatively soon, like Zhao or Hu Tao. And I wanted to go ahead and touch on this subject and give my 2 cents on the matter. And not to keep you too long, if you just want the answer right away, I'm going to go ahead and let you know that I think Ganyu is a skip, and I think her banner is most likely going to be a skip as well. Now that is the quick answer, but if you want more details on the reason why I'm stating that, especially coming from the #1 Ganyu simp in the game, that should be 100% confirmed if you've been here on the channel any length of time, I'm going to give you the reasons why I think that even though I'm going for Ganyu, and I think she's absolutely fantastic, and like I mentioned, I'm probably the #1 simp for her. I still think that she's a skip, and we're going to go into the details on the reason why I think that today. Now, keep in mind, whatever I state in today's video, don't let that deter you from pulling for her if you want to pull for her. If you think she's an amazing character, if you think she's going to fit your gameplay style or your team comp, or if she's just your favorite character and you want to have her on your team, don't let what I say in today's video deter you by any means. Like I mentioned, I'm going to be pulling for her specifically, but I thought this would be good for not only my free-to-play players, but my players that are on the fence and don't know what to do, right? Because Primo Gems, they are scarce, and there are a lot of really great characters that are going to be coming, hopefully, like I mentioned, relatively soon. So let's jump straight into the reasons why. Now, from first and foremost, massive shout out to Honey Hunter World. Now, I did want to mention the characters that are going to be coming after Ganyu, that are pretty much confirmed to be coming after Ganyu, and that is Zhao and that is Hu Tao. So, with these two characters in particular, they are two absolutely fantastic characters. They're looking both to be very DPS oriented, very, I don't want to say glass cannon-y, but very, very highly DPS oriented and very, very strong characters that are going to help out your team, especially if you're lacking in the DPS area. They're going to be able to fulfill that role for you. Now, I did want to go ahead and quickly mention that Ganyu will be able to do the same thing for you, as I think she has the potential to be a main DPS. I think she has the potential to hit extremely hard, and she'll be able to fulfill that role for you as well. Now, the differences between the characters that we're speaking about is that Hu Tao is Pyro Polearm, Zhao is going to be Enemo Polearm, and then Ganyu is going to be a bow user, if you do not know, and she's going to be Cryo. So, with that being said, I think Zhao and Hu Tao might fit the gameplay styles of most individuals who play the game a little bit better, especially if you're on the mobile device. Ganyu, being a bow user, may not be the most advantageous for you, and I think that's something that you have to take into consideration, or at least have to think about if you're on the mobile device. So that's one thing that I wanted to mention as well, and make sure that you guys fully understand that with her being a bow user, you know, a lot of people are not going to like her gameplay style or the way she plays. So by all means, when she does drop, test run her first and decide then if you want to pull for her or if you want to save. But I think Zhao and Hu Tao are going to have easier gameplay styles in the aspect of using their basic attacks and their elemental skills, as well as their elemental bursts, and they might just be more friendly to the mobile users as well as just beginners of the game, or people that just play it casually and don't go too crazy with it. So I wanted to mention that from a gameplay style aspect, or, you know, background. Now, the next thing I did want to go ahead and mention or speak about as well is that Ganyu is going to be, like I mentioned earlier, extremely strong and extremely powerful, but I think that she is one of those characters that are going to be even better with her constellations unlocked. Now, there are some characters at C0 that are absolutely fantastic and they get the job done, and you don't need any constellations per se. Then there's characters like Ganyu, who I think are going to be absolutely fantastic at C0 as well and still get the job done, but is so much better of a character once you start unlocking constellations. So if you don't plan on unlocking constellations for Ganyu, if you're looking at just pulling her and that's about it, then maybe you should think about skipping, because I think Ganyu is going to be one of those characters that once you start unlocking the constellations, her potential starts to really unlock, and then she becomes one of those nutty DPS characters that you're looking to obtain on your team. I think she's still going to be extremely incredible at C0 and still be able to output the damage, but it may just be not what you are wanting it to be in comparison to with when you unlock her constellations, especially if we talk about C1 and C4 in particular. C1, taking damage from a charge level 2 Frostbreak Arrow or Frostbreak Arrow Bloom decreases opponents' cryo resistance by 15% for 6 seconds, and a hit regenerates 2 energy for Ganyu, excuse me. So that C1 right there off the bat is extremely good, like really, really good, because not only are you getting more energy for yourself, but you're reducing the enemy's resistance to cryo, which means once you do that and then you go ahead and pop ult, or you do something else like hit them with your Frostbreak Bloom or Frostbreak Arrow, I should say, you're going to be doing even more damage. So that makes Ganyu an even better DPS. And then you look at her C4, which I think is like the bread and butter. I think that's like the sweet spot where you want to get Ganyu. I don't think you need to necessarily go all C6 for her, but C4 is like a good spot to be in. And that is where the opponent is standing within the AoE of the Celestial Shower, which is her elemental burst. Take increased damage. This effect strengthens over time. Increased damage taken begins at 5% and increases by 5% every 3 seconds, up to a maximum of 25%. And then the effect lingers for 3 seconds after your opponent leaves the AoE. C4 is utterly ridiculous. It's absolutely nutty, and it's where I think you would want to get Ganyu, and then you would be extremely solid. Obviously, we're speaking to the Megalodon whales right now and not necessarily free-to-play players, but I wanted to mention this in the video because this is where you then start to see where Ganyu becomes an absolute powerhouse and start to, you know, match up with these other characters that are extremely highly DPS oriented. So if you don't plan on going for dupes for Ganyu or going for constellations, then that might be another reason to skip. Once again, I think she's going to be great at C0. I don't think you need to have the constellations, but the constellations for this character in particular really just, it takes her to a whole nother level, right? There are some characters to where you can have C0 on, like for example Zhongli, and be able to do fine with him. I had a C0 Zhongli for the longest. I only have him at C1 right now, and he was perfectly fine, and he was doing the job, and he was getting things done. Another character like Venti, for example, you can have him at C0 and be absolutely fantastic and not have to worry about constellations. But with Ganyu, I think it might be just a different story with her. But once again, I could be wrong, and it's something that I just wanted to mention. Whereas with Zhao and even maybe Hu Tao, which actually Hu Tao starts to get pretty crazy with her constellations, but I think even with these two characters, just based off of their elemental skill and their elemental burst, I don't think it's necessary really to have, you know, dupes or constellations in them. I think they're going to be absolutely ridiculous even without it, where Ganyu is going to be really, really good, but I don't know if she's going to be absolutely ridiculous without constellations like Zhao and Hu Tao is going to be. Now, one other thing that I did want to mention in regards to why you may want to skip Ganyu's banners, because in version 1.3, we're speculating Zhao will be there, we're speculating Hu Tao will be there, but we're also speculating, and I think this is a very, very, very strong possibility, that Big Daddy Zhongli will be there as well. Those are 3 absolutely fantastic characters, especially if you missed out on Zhongli the first time around. With the buffs that they're looking to implement and the things that they're looking to do, you know, it's tough. It's tough to say to pull for Ganyu when you have Zhao, possibly Zhongli, and possibly Hu Tao coming in version 1.3. It's just very tough to argue for Ganyu when you have those 3 possible characters coming out. Zhongli with all his buffs that are possibly coming with him, and just him in general is an absolutely fantastic character. Hu Tao is looking to be absolutely amazing, and Zhao is looking to be, well, we already know is incredible. It's tough to back Ganyu on this, and once again, this is coming from the #1 Ganyu simp in the game. I absolutely adore this character, and I get more excited each and every day that I talk about her, and I cannot wait for her to drop, and I am going in pretty deep when she does drop. So this is coming from a very, very unbiased standpoint. That she, yeah, in all likelihood, she's a skip. Another reason being is because if we take a look at the banners, like, it would be different if there was another brand new 4-star coming with her, but if we're looking at just another standard, you know, 4-stars that we've had before, which I have no clue who it could be, but if I was just to speculate and throw some people out there, I think Beidou, Ningguang, Xingqiu, Noelle, I think those are all really good candidates. Ling and Barbara are all really good candidates. If I was to put my money on it, I would probably say Xingqiu. I would probably have to say Ling. And I would probably have to say either Noelle or Beidou as the other one to come alongside Ganyu when she drops. Those are just the, you know, just to throw some characters out there. But with no new 4-stars, I think she is an absolute skip. As much as it pains me to say that, guys, it really does, because I think she's going to be fantastic. And what's going to happen, and I know this is going to happen, is that once Ganyu drops, there's going to be tons of content creators, including myself probably, that are going to show her off and show her doing this amazing damage and her CCing and her being this absolutely ridiculous character. But in a lot of situations, it's not going to be realistic for most people. Most people are not going to be able to get her to C4 or even C1. It's just not going to be realistic for most individuals. So when you see those videos, including my own that I'm going to be doing on the channel, it's going to be different than what most people are going to be able to do on their own account. Once again, I think Ganyu is going to be an absolutely fantastic character at C0. Just to reiterate one more time, so you guys don't misunderstand me, but I don't think she's going to be the same C0 character that Zhao can be, that Hu Tao can be as, you know, main DPSs, or have the versatility or utility support capabilities that Zhongli could bring even at C0, especially with all the buffs that he'll be getting in, you know, the rework that he's obtaining here very soon. It pains me to say this. It pains me to say this. Plus, we have other characters that you may be looking forward to, like Ayaka, like Rosadia, that you may be wanting to be saving for as well. Maybe a brand new Dendro hero coming. Who knows? So, Ganyu, as much as I love her, as I am the #1 simp for her in the game, as I think she's going to be an absolutely busted, great character, she's going to be a skip, guys. For most people, she's going to be a skip for most people. And that's just being as unbiased as I possibly can. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video today. I hope you got something from it. And once again, just to reiterate one more time, don't let what I said in this video deter you if Ganyu is who you want to pull. Because remember, this game is all about playing with the characters that you want to play for, whether they're going to be absolutely fantastic or not. Every character in this game you can make fantastic, even at C0. You don't have to have any constellations on. So if Ganyu's your girl, that's who you want to have on your team and on your account, and that's who you've been waiting for, by all means pull. She's going to be great. She's going to be fantastic. But if you've been waiting for other characters like Zhao, Hu Tao, Ayaka, characters like that, then simply save. Or test run her when she drops and see if you like her then. But that's everything that I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you got something from it. Hopefully I wasn't too convoluted or all over the place, and hopefully I helped out a little bit. But I'm going to get out of here. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. And until next time, my boys, until next time, it's your homie Cody GT, and I'm out. Bye, guys.